All right, welcome to the Sports Guys, coming off an incredible weekend of NFL action. This is our reaction show to the 6 wildcard weekend games. The games were just incredible. I had so much fun watching them. A lot of them came down to the last possession. How you doing, Robbie?
Doing great. Really enjoyed. Most of the games were awesome. Lots and lots of lead changes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's really cool to watch the statistical graph afterward when it
Mhm.
goes up above and then down below and then up above and down
Percentage,
below. You
like the
know the
Bears,
emotional roller coaster that every fan went on. It
like the
was
Bears were down to
awesome.
a 3% winning percentage chance in like the early third quarter.
I
3%,
know.
and then it just comes out. Then it was 15%. Then it was 18%.
Mm.
Crazy.
That was the shocker that game, but um it was a good weekend of football. Not very high scoring overall.
Hmm.
Relatively powerful defenses and a lot of really tough matchups and
Hmm.
excellent sort of coaching battles, a lot of game within the game type of stuff. Very good stuff. I enjoyed the football. It wasn't the highest scoring, but that's not the only way to have exciting football.
You know,
There was
what was your biggest
defenses were
shocker?
headhunting for real.
What was your biggest shocker out of the 6 games? I mean, for me, it was probably the Bills over the Jags. But again, I told everyone
Not
that
me.
the one team the Jags had to get by to get to the Super Bowl was the Bills. I thought that was the one team that could stop them.
Yeah, that wasn't surprising at all. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I wouldn't have bet 30 cents on it. I mean, Josh Allen is a very good quarterback. He hasn't had a lot of postseason success, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, the team itself, um, I felt like Jacksonville was kind of new for them to be there, so who
Mhm.
knows? But no, the surprise was the Bears beating the Packers, especially with
Mhm.
the Packers up 21-3 at halftime.
Right.
That looked
Although they've
like
done it,
a
they've
bit
done
of
it
a
all year.
beating.
They've done it all year. I mean, that was his seventh fourth quarter comeback this season, so it's not like it's a new thing for him. I mean, this has become a Caleb Williams trademark.
Yeah.
So, not that surprising from the standpoint of, they were going to come out and make it competitive in the second half. I knew they were. I didn't think they'd win it, but not that surprising that he came back, and that's what the Bears have been doing all year.
Yeah, but to be down 21-3, um, I didn't see that coming.
Surprising to you that he was one of the only coaches who actually survived losing. And not only did they not fire LaFleur, which all the Packer fans wanted them to do, but they went ahead and re-upped him for 2 more years. So they've
No, but
recommitted
that
to him.
that's not a done deal. They're talking about it right now.
Yeah. I found that interesting that a lot of the other guys who lost were
They're
almost
actually trying to
immediately out.
decide whether they're going to re-sign him or not.
Hmm.
They're either going to get rid of him or re-up him in you know.
Well, I mean, you and I both picked the Bears before the game, so it wasn't that shocking that they would win, but it was shocking the comeback was just so unlikely. They were so far
Yeah.
behind.
No, that was the shock of the day was that 21-3 and they were able to come all the way back and
Hmm.
Green Bay was going to allow them to do it basically by not running the ball.
The other shocker, you picked the Eagles, I picked the 49ers. A lot of people were just assuming the Eagles had the much better roster, which they do. But I had been saying the entire season from week 3 that Philadelphia did not look right. Their offense was not right. There was
Yeah.
something broken with it. They would go long stretches, 2 or 3 quarters in a row, not being able to score. There were halves where Jalen Hurts had 7 yards passing and things like that, and
Yeah, it
I
was
just didn't
pitiful.
buy him. I just didn't buy him. So, and then my Panthers, I just can't say enough about the effort they gave. They beat the Rams 5 weeks ago, 31-28, and then they almost pulled it off again. Essentially, if they could have gotten one stop in the fourth quarter, they would have won again against the Rams. That was really a surprising result, but not really to me. I feel like they matched up pretty well against the Rams.
They did. They did. Their defense played hard and made Stafford's life a little bit of a living hell again. But there's something about special about that guy late in the fourth quarter.
Hmm.
I think he's my favorite quarterback to watch in the NFL right now.
Hmm.
Um, he said to his team when they were going on the field for the game-winning drive, "Let's go tear their hearts out." Like
Hmm.
he believes it. Like he's it's a strategy, you know.
Hmm. That's true.
So,
Any thoughts about the parity that we're seeing? I mean, 4 of the 6 games came down to the last possession. Not only the last possession, but 4 out of the 6 games came down to all 4 of those teams were losing at the 2-minute warning
yeah.
and found a way to get it done in those last 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Any thought
these
about that?
teams were all averaging like 7 lead changes during the game, six, whatever. Crazy. Parity, 9 coaching vacancies in the NFL right now.
Mhm.
Um, and lots and lots of upsets, but barely upsets. But teams that were up and then down and then up and then down and then up, and then whoever has the ball at the end or whoever turns the ball over at the end is going to lose. That's what
Mhm.
happened in Jacksonville. So. And if you have the ball at the end and score, you win, the Rams. Um, it happened all weekend. It was very exciting football, even though it wasn't the best football, but it was exciting football.
There was a
But
lot of
nine
great things.
nine coaching vacancies tells you how the bad teams are doing. Um, they're cleaning house, and then the mediocre teams. Um, Probably didn't make it to the playoffs, but there are some good teams that made those wild card rounds, and a lot of them advanced. So
A lot of times my theory came true. My theory was the better quarterback slash coaching combination would typically come out on top. Not every time, but typically.
that's
What
probably
happened,
true.
what happened with the 49ers? I think that they have the better coach and
But
they have the better quarterback.
but I
Um,
what I what I'd say is, what about when it's split? Like I think Liam Cohen's a better quarter coach
yeah,
than McDermott, but Josh Allen's a better quarterback than Lawrence.
right.
What happens there? I think
He's,
that's basically right. I think your quarterback and coach, when they're in sync, you could tell that Sirianni and Hertz and the offensive coordinator were on the sideline drawing up that 4th and 11 play. And Hertz
mhm,
said, "Are you serious?" No. And he was trying to talk him out of it. And then he looked to Sirianni to help him make the case that that was not the right play.
mhm.
And Sirianni just shrugged and sort of abdicated leadership. And it was a poor coaching job by the Eagles.
Are you amazed, like I am, that the Eagles haven't fired Sirianni yet? I'm just
Yeah,
stunned. I'm stunned that he's still there.
yeah. I think he's been living with a tremendous advantage of a roster that is understatedly good. The roster is good. I looked this up. I couldn't believe it, but the Eagles have the most expensive offense in NFL history with $247.3 million.
Mhm.
They
Yep.
spent $247 million on
Did you
their
see
offense.
how pitiful it was week after
It's
week after week?
pitiful.
It's
That's
pitiful.
coaching. If
Yeah.
you have that much talent on your offensive side of the ball and you can't move the ball and you're throwing the ball in the dirt and you're drawing up that pitiful play on 4th down and 11 to lose the game, and you got your star wide receiver screaming that he wants the ball, and then the 3 games earlier in the year when they started to throw him the ball nonstop, they lost. I mean, they need a complete makeover of leadership and coaches, but the roster needs to remain the same,
That's what
basically.
I'm saying. I mean, and you saw they fired the offensive coordinator today.
Yep.
So he's the
Yep.
scapegoat. He takes the fall, but the guy who
But he
really should be
should.
going is
He
Sirianni.
he wasn't good. He wasn't good with Hertz.
I know you need to leave the roster in place. You need to trade AJ Brown. He needs to go because he's kind
Oh
of a
yeah, immediately.
poison. And then
He needed to not
Sirianni,
even make it home on the same plane.
and then Sirianni and the entire staff need to go and keep the roster in place and have a new regime come in. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
And trust me, I'm
Although
not
I
an
would
Eagles fan.
I would say being that expensive, um, I don't think it's an advantage when the quarterback play is that mediocre and the offensive line has been a little banged up. They need some depth. They're getting old,
Mhm. But
They're not
again,
as old as the Steelers or something, but
you look at the 49ers, better coach, better quarterback. Okay, so that held true. In
yep.
the Bills, Jacksonville won. I agree with you. I think that's a split decision situation.
But
In the Patriots situation, better quarterback, better coach. There's just no question. And so it typically
I'm not
holds.
saying Vrabel's not better than Harbaugh. He's
I don't
not
know about
worse, but he's not better. They're
I
both
don't know about
culture
that.
guys.
He outcoached him in that game.
They're culture guys. He did not coach him. The Chargers offensive line got absolutely whipped. They got
Decimated.
whipsawed. In fact, when we get into the game, May had a terrible game.
It wasn't
May
great.
played poorly, and I like May and I'm a fan, but he didn't play well. And the only reason that the Pats came away with the win was because their defense overpowered the offensive line to a level that Herbert was getting hit. I think he got hit, whatever it was. He threw the ball, I
It
don't
was
know,
sad to
40,
watch, man. I mean,
40
there were
times.
a couple of those hits.
He
I
got
was just,
hurried on all but one of them, I think, or something crazy like that. I heard the
yeah.
stat. It was insane.
It was the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he was
Yeah.
absolutely decimated
Yep.
last night by the
That's
Texans. It
right.
was just sad. It wasn't really fair to him.
That's right. So the Pats didn't play particularly well, but their defense manhandled the Chargers offensive line.
Would you rather
And
have
just
C.J. Stroud or Aaron Rodgers right now?
right now, Stroud,
Yeah,
but not
Stroud.
by much. Rodgers still fine. It's just his team was terrible around him.
Would you
Like
rather have D'Amico Ryans or would you rather have Mike Tomlin, who just resigned today, by the way?
Mike Tomlin.
You would?
He
Not
did a
me.
lot. He did a lot with a very pitiful roster. When's the last time the Steelers had a great roster?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have
They keep making
Ryans.
the playoffs with a
I like
terrible roster.
young, energetic guys like Ryans, like
So do
Sean
I, but
McVay. That's
I
what I
think
want.
Tomlin's still got energy. He's still young
Mhm.
enough. It's the GM there for the Steelers is just doing a terrible job.
Would you rather have Matt Stafford or Bryce Young?
Matt Stafford.
Okay. Would you rather have Sean McVay or Canales?
Oh, McVay.
Okay. So, and they almost pulled it off anyway. So,
No, I agree. I agree
yeah.
that it often is the case. Yes, it usually is the case.
Hmm.
But, with the Rams, they have more talent, like
If it,
everywhere, not just coach and quarterback.
I know
They got
that's true.
they had no business
But
almost losing that game.
for Ted McMillan and Coker and these guys, they've got a nice receiving core right now, the Panthers, and
Yeah.
they tore that secondary up. They really did.
Hmm.
It was impressive.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the difference maker, you're right about the split situation with quarterback and coach. What the difference maker typically is in those split situations is the defense. The defense rules,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yep.
we saw that in several cases.
Yeah. Like the Texans.
Hmm.
Ooh,
Well, I just absolutely loved this whole weekend. It was such great football.
it was good. It
Let's
was
go break
good.
down the stats. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go take a look at what happened.
Let's take a moment to give a shout out to our sponsor for tonight. And that's DraftKings. They've been a long-time sponsor of ours. Rob and I've had a lot of fun just going out and doing small bets on DraftKings and playing fantasy football on DraftKings. What do you think of DraftKings, Robbie?
Great. I went a little crazy with the college games. I just have a great time. I like to really think through what I think's going to happen, look at the lines. There's so much fun stuff. There's so much information on the site. I love that. And I really enjoy seeing it puts some juice into the game. It's really a good time.
The interface is really cool. The app's really cool, I think, both on the website
Yeah.
and the app itself. It's really easy to use. It's really exciting. It serves up a lot of interesting bets you wouldn't have thought of before. You can put like $5 down on kind of thing. I wanted to also mention the special deal they have right now. If you put a deposit down on your first bet of $5, if you win that bet, you get $300 of bonus bets, which is really cool. What a great deal
That is
that is.
cool.
Take advantage of that. But
They also have
again,
boost. You can boost your bet by a
mhm,
percentage. I did that in a couple college games, and it's a really cool way to enjoy sports and add
Mhm.
a little wrinkle,
Mhm.
little extra juice.
It does give you a little bit of extra interest in the game. There's no doubt about it. So, guys, try DraftKings tonight. Go download their app or check out DraftKings.com and go ahead and download the app and put your first deposit down and go for that deal where you only have to bet $5. You can win $300 in bonus bets and do that tonight. Enjoy it.
A lot of fun.
See you next time. All right, so this is our reaction to NFL playoffs wildcard round weekend show, and we had episode 104. You see the six teams that won this weekend: Rams, 49ers, Bills, Patriots, Chicago, and the Texans. So those are your winners. Any other themes you can think of coming out of the weekend that you saw as general trends of these teams?
Uh, well, I think the defense won most of these games,
And what was
e-
interesting is if you look at the
except for
three
the
teams,
Niners.
you look at the three teams on the left, the Rams, the Niners, and the Bills, all of them have just okay defenses. They're really
Yeah,
not championship level defenses.
no question.
The Patriots
The Bill,
do, and the Texans do, and the Bears defense is horrible too. So
it's terrible.
yeah,
Yeah,
so I don't know. Some of these teams might have
but
to
it played
find
pretty well once it got down.
true.
It hung in there and kept Green Bay from doing very much.
I mean, Shanahan was talking about he had two starting linebackers that had only been with the team for 2 weeks. So it's like they're so thin. They're down to like fourth string in some cases.
I know.
And the fact that they're doing that kind of effort with Salah, it's amazing. It really
It
is.
is amazing. I agree.
And then the Rams, their defense has really slipped since the beginning of the year. It's not as good as it was. So
Yeah.
I'm concerned about how exposed they are. Bills, we know their defense is not great. Bears, we know that that's their real Achilles heel. They
No,
have this.
but the Bills D played pretty well.
It did. No, it did. I'm just
It
saying
made the difference on a couple of plays.
it really did. It really did.
Now, I don't
Uh,
think they can continue to do that, but they
right,
played in that game. They
and
played
that's the
well.
question: is in round two, round three, can some of these teams continue to have that kind of effort? The Chicago Bears, is an example. They can't keep getting down 21-3 and beating
Mm-mm.
teams in round two and
No.
round three of the playoffs. That's just
No,
not
they'll
going to
lose a
happen.
lot. They'll lose by a lot the next time around if they
Whereas
do
the
that.
Patriots and the Texans, those two defenses will travel. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. 16-3 for the Patriots. That's not a surprising score.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then the
The
Texans
fact
just
that they
keep
don't score much and the fact that they don't give up much. It's like
right.
that's who they are.
And then
They're
the Texans
physical.
just absolutely dismantled a really old looking Pittsburgh team. That's what happened. They
Oh
just
yeah.
couldn't block them.
Yeah. Did you hear that Will Anderson had a dream
I did
that
hear that. Yeah.
that big D lineman was going to have
Mhm.
a scoop and not necessarily score, but that he was going to get a fumble return?
I did hear that.
And in his dream, he couldn't tell if he scored or not. That's pretty cool that that happened
Wow.
before the game.
That is wild.
Yeah. What are
Any
the
other
chances?
any other performances really hit you from all these? Obviously, Josh Allen was Superman again. And
Will Anderson, I love watching that guy. Hats off to Caleb Williams, you
God,
know,
how is he doing
uh,
this, Robbie? How
bringing
is he
him
doing?
back.
How do you think he's
I
doing it?
don't know. I don't know.
Because
I love
he
watching.
looks dead in the first half.
I love watching Vrabel coach his guys. They're
Mhm.
just so tough.
And
Um,
nobody's talking about Brock Purdy, but I mean,
oh no, I am. I am.
he's
I was
throwing
talking
to
about it today
guys
at work.
he's throwing to guys who were on the practice squad at the beginning of the season. Like he has nobody left.
He's the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. He is always like top three in QBR and most sack
He'll throw
categories.
crossing routes to these guys, and the announcers don't even know who they are, and they have to look them up in their
I
programs.
know.
Like, who's this guy? Oh, he was on the practice squad 2 weeks ago. Like,
Mm.
it's just incredible what they're doing.
He is absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
And then Rams, you know what? I love Matthew Stafford, so
yeah.
you always got a chance when you got Matthew Stafford.
And those receivers are incredible.
Receivers are
Exactly.
incredible. Puka Nacua is the best receiver in football. Kyron Williams had a nice game, and Matthew Stafford's going to carve
I
you up.
think if the Rams go down, it's going to be because their defense has slipped
Yeah,
a lot.
agreed. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's slipped. I'm not sure I'd say that. What I'd say is I feel like it's out of sync sometimes, and I don't know why. It's not necessarily a talent problem.
Yeah. You're
It's
right.
like they don't
Yeah.
play in sync together for some reason.
So looking at the Rams Panthers, this happened on the 10th of January. This was a 34-31 game. Like you said, it really felt like whichever team got the ball last was going to win.
Yeah.
The Panthers and the Rams had changed leads multiple times in the second half. It really was kind of
Nonstop.
a back and forth affair. What an exciting game.
It's really exciting football,
Yeah,
especially if, well, no, even if you love one of the teams. It's especially if you love one of the teams because you're on the edge of your seat. But that's what this is so good for the fans. This is so good for
it was.
uh people who are invested in sitting down for 3 hours, grabbing some wings and a beverage and just putting your
Right.
feet up and scream at the TV and have a blast.
I noticed if you look at the stats between Stafford and Bryce Young, they really weren't that different. I mean, Stafford and Bryce Young
No.
both were very inaccurate all day. I know the Panthers corners played really, really well. You had Mike Jackson, you had J.C. Horn, and actually before the game started, when he was being interviewed, Sean McVay said that these were going to be the best two corners they were going to face in the playoffs. I thought that was a really big compliment for
Mhm.
those guys. And if you notice in the second half, all the success Stafford had, he was picking on safeties and linebackers. He wasn't
Yeah.
even trying to go up against the corners because they're just too tough.
Well, he throws the nicest ball in the NFL
Hmm.
and he throws it on a rope and his receivers always have a chance of catching the ball
Yep.
and he's got a great coach. So it's kind of unfair. I mean, it's kind of amazing sometimes when he plays poorly
Right.
for 3 quarters and then brings them back and wins. But I will say, Panthers were up by 4 points with 2:38 left
Right.
in the
Exactly.
game. So, but very similar stats. That's some of my notes is the stats were surprisingly similar. Both quarterbacks threw the ball too much.
Both
It
threw
was
it too much. Both had an
imbalanced.
interception. Both had a
Yep.
bad interception.
Yep.
The rushing yardage was about the same. You had Nakua and Coker lead both teams. You had the one difference between the two that was probably the killer in the game was the muffed punt. That
Yep.
was really a horrible play for the Panthers. They really couldn't have afforded that. And then the other play that I thought really the game turned on was that wide open screen play out to the left to Chuba Hubbard. He was wide open, just dribbles off his fingers, and they end up having to punt rather than extend that drive. So there just were
I think
it was
I think
tantalizing
also
how close the Panthers were to winning this game. It really was close.
I think on the final drive, playing zone was a disaster.
Yeah.
The Panthers gave so much cushion.
Hmm.
Uh, all these just stud wide receivers had to do was go sit down in the zone, wide open, and just keep moving the ball
Right.
15 yards at a time.
And you look at the
It was
possession numbers were really close. And you look at, I was really proud of the Panthers' red zone numbers 4 for 4 in the red zone and 5 for 12 third down, a little bit better than the Rams. So,
yeah.
and also Rams had a lot more
Oh
penalties.
yeah.
They didn't play
It
nearly a clean
it was
game.
a mixed bag with stats for sure. I will say Stafford set a passing record in the postseason, uh,
Yeah,
passing Kurt Warner for the Rams. So
right. You
he,
see his records right there, his postseason history. He's first in completions, first in passing,
yeah,
touchdowns 10 yards, and then first in wins now in Rams postseason. And he hadn't been with the Rams more than a couple of years. So
I know,
kind of amazing.
I know. That tells you something. But yeah, so at the end of the day, playing that soft zone, allowing Stafford to just chew up all the way down the field and get the win. He knew it was going to happen. He said, let's go tear their hearts out.
Hmm.
So it is what it is. But hey, the Panthers 8-9, not a great season, but a good one and a much better improved season over what they've been doing. A lot of belief in the players, a lot of belief in the roster, and you can only go up from here, I think.
Don't you think they can walk away holding their heads high? I mean, it was an
Absolutely.
improvement season. Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're much more competitive
Yeah.
than they were.
And the Bucks are a decent team. The Falcons are improved. New Orleans has their quarterback now. So it's all of them seem to be ascending at the same time.
It's true. It's true. The Los Angeles Rams were 10.5 point favorites going into this game. And when I saw that line, I thought to myself, there's no way. I would definitely go ahead and take Carolina in the points.
The only
Just
reason I didn't put money down on Carolina was because I don't bet on my own teams that I root for.
Yeah,
So
that's why I didn't as well. Same
I
thing.
absolutely thought they were going to cover.
I also thought this
Uh,
over-under was particularly low. I mean, 44.5 points for
yeah,
these two teams that score a lot of
yeah,
points against each other. I thought that was
yep,
particularly low.
I agree.
So congratulations, Rams. Sad
Yeah,
about my
good stuff by
Panthers.
the Rams.
Sad about my Panthers. They go into the off season feeling pretty good about themselves. And today they picked up the 5th-year option of Bryce Young. I think that was the right thing to do. That ends up being 27.5 million, which is really a
Yeah,
reasonable rate in
it's very
today's market.
reasonable. It's
And
generational wealth for him and his family. Uh, but it's not, the highest end or anything, but
right.
it gives him security. It lets him say you're our guy for at least the next year or two, and then it lets him refocus
And
on
and it locks him
building
in with
more
his
around him.
receivers, locks him in with his receivers, locks him in with Chuba Hubbard. I mean, they're building a nice little
Yeah,
core there. So
I am a little worried that Rico Dowdle is talking about how he wants to go somewhere where they'll utilize him more.
he wants to be the starting back for sure.
Yeah, and that's too bad. They definitely kind of fumbled away Rico Dowdle's high skill set
Yeah,
towards the end of the season. I
I
didn't
agree
like
with you.
how they finished with him.
I agree. I didn't like
He
how
had a
they're running
special
just generally.
season, but it
Mhm.
fizzled out. It's like they acted like by the end of the year that he was the backup.
Yeah, that's right. So
Didn't work out.
congratulations to the Rams. What an exciting game that was. I
Yeah,
enjoyed every minute of it,
it
other
was
than the
good.
last play of the game.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Packers at Bears also that happened that day, happened that night actually. This was a game that the Packers came out like gangbusters. They took a 21-3 lead into halftime. Everyone thought the Bears were dead. I didn't because I've watched them all year and I've seen them come storming back so many times. I didn't think they'd score 25 points in the fourth quarter though.
Mhm.
And you look at the end numbers, and again, Williams had a really special day, but really Love had a really nice day. You're talking
Yeah, Love looked
323
good,
yards, 4
especially in
touchdowns,
the first half. Threw too much, but
and they kind of got away with some of the things that were working in the first half and the second half. And Green Bay just has to be kicking themselves because of it.
you know what? It's
Um,
consistently happening in almost all these games. Monster defenses are still alive. Very few teams with terrible defenses. Although San Fran and the Bears might qualify as terrible, but uh, offensively, these quarterbacks are just throwing the ball way too much. Way too
mhm,
much.
I agree.
They're all throwing 48 times a game, 46 times a game, and these teams are running the ball like 13 times. It's it's supposed to be about 50% because it keeps the defense from honing in on,
You know,
being
another reason this result was so surprising at the last minute because the Bears had the 2 turnovers, Green Bay had 0. The Bears
uh-huh.
had the
I know.
lesser red zone efficiency. They were 2 for 5. They were 2 for 6 on fourth down, whereas Green Bay was 3 for 3.
Hmm.
It's if you looked at every single stat, it just seemed like
I
Green
know.
Bay would have won this game, and yet they didn't.
I
It
think
was really
that's why there was such an outcry against the coaching, the whole coaching staff, really,
mhm.
for allowing this to happen. I mean, Dobbs looked great.
You did.
How can you squander those kind of performances with a
Mhm.
loss?
I
Love
know.
with the four touchdowns.
By the way,
Very,
and I know you know about him, and I know everyone in fantasy knows about him. But do you think Cortland Loveland has finally announced himself to the NFL? I think
yeah,
everybody's starting to see this kid.
he's a he's a
He's
top four
incredible.
or five tight end.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he
Like he's
is.
almost unstoppable. And then, of course, I love DJ Moore. I wish he was still with the Panthers. What a great play that was to finish the game. That little out and up,
Uh-huh. Yep.
beautiful play drawn up there. And I really felt like LaFleur did get out coached by McDonald, especially in the second half. That's how it felt. McDonald made all the adjustments. So going into this
Yep.
game, Green Bay was favored on the road, which happened in several of these games where the visiting team was the favorite. Any other general takes about this game? I think Vegas always will choose the quarterback they think is better, it seems like.
I feel bad for McManus missing that 44-yarder.
Hmm.
Uh, that's kind of the swing of the game too. And the Packers lost their last 5 games,
Yeah,
so
they did.
uh, they were fizzling out, and they just didn't. There's something missing there. I know they're going to hold the coaches accountable potentially, but I don't know. Maybe they need a little tiny shakeup in their roster.
Hmm. They need something
They need something.
defensively, especially. And they,
They need
by the
somebody
way,
like Donnell Hunter or whatever.
they were 5-1 with Micah, and they were 0-5 without him. So
Right, right.
I guess he was more important than we thought he was to that team. So,
I guess so. I think he came in too and they had a shot in the arm.
mhm.
They, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I give him all that credit, but yeah, he was a difference maker, and maybe, I mean, the difference in a 4-point game might be Micah Parsons.
That's right.
It's close enough to where, one player could make a difference. If it's a 21-point deficit, one person not going to matter that much, but
So pretty cool to
yeah,
see this stat. Caleb Williams is the first Chicago Bears QB to defeat the Packers multiple times in a season since Jim Harbaugh in '91. You see a
yeah,
great picture there of Jim Harbaugh.
yeah.
But
Caleb had a pretty good season.
if you look at the history of this series, Green Bay really has kind of owned Chicago for many, many decades. And finally, they've got a quarterback and a regime with McDonald that seem like they can not only compete with Green Bay, but may have the edge. So we'll
I
see.
don't know. I think the Bears still have a lot of work to do on defense.
No, that's true.
A lot of work to do.
Very true.
And actually, offensively, Caleb was near the bottom of the league in a lot of categories most of the season. So
Mhm.
while winning is the most important thing, there's some metrics that say they still have a lot of improving to do. And they
Where do
might
you
do it
think
because they're young. So
Where do you think he was able to muster this season the ability to come back 7 times in the fourth quarter? Because last year we didn't see him do it at all. He just didn't have that ability. What do you think it is this year that allows? Is it the coaching? Is it the quarterback whisperer? Is
yeah,
it that he's more
yeah,
mature?
the coaching has allowed the game to slow down for Caleb. So making decisions is easier for him. He can do it with more certainty.
Yeah.
So that's definitely coaching. It's also the maturing of Caleb. We're watching it happen before our eyes, and the coaches have figured out how to maximize his abilities.
And we
Um,
always knew he had the arm talent, right? I mean, he
oh
made
yeah,
some throws in this game that were just astounding.
yeah.
Like
He can
most
do it
players
falling
cannot make.
backwards, and he does his jump throw.
He does a
He's
couple things that most guys can't do in the league.
got a howitzer for an arm.
He does. He does. He literally like sometimes they drop it because it's so hard. So
Hmm.
congratulations to the Bears. And if I'm the Packers, I'm going to stew on this one for a long time because really inexcusable for them to give this one away.
Yeah, they shouldn't have lost this game.
Yeah. They're just sick at their stomachs right now.
Hmm.
We'll see how the Bears fare going forward. Next one was the Bills Jaguars. You and I both picked the Jaguars, although, again, I cautioned that I thought the Bills were a really tough matchup for them. And I really, although Trevor Lawrence had this really nice last 8 games of the season and was really
Hmm.
one of the hottest players in the league, I really wanted to see it in the playoffs. And again, he had 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was about a 50% completion percentage in the game. I really was kind of bothered and harassed throughout the game, and Josh
Yeah.
Allen just looked more calm, especially in the second half. What's your
I
take
don't
on this
know
game?
though. This could have gone either way. A lot of
Yeah,
people are saying, Josh Allen, Superman. They beat the heck out of Allen. I don't think I've ever seen him take a beating like that.
it's true. It's true.
I
I
mean, he
don't know
had to
how he
go to the tent.
persevered.
What was it, 3 times?
Yeah, that's right.
They just kept hammering him. Like, and his hands would be shaking, and like he was getting hit hard by the number one running defense in football. He's used to having a lot of holes open up, and he scampers and he lowers his shoulder and
And yet,
hits
and yet, he
somebody.
had a couple plays where he was doing these mauls, like you see there to the bottom
No,
right, where
but I
he
was
had a
about to
lot of
say,
success.
but I will say that the Bills did the most impressive pushes I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah. Hmm. Against
I
the
mean,
number one
they were
defense.
pushing against the number one rushing defense. They were getting like 12 yards when it was 4th and 1 or something.
Hmm.
They would just drive and just pile drive.
So you think
I'm
they've
not a huge fan of that play because I think it's unfair to the defense that offensive players are allowed to push their fellow players, but defense can't push defensive players. It's not a fair
Mhm.
fight, but it is what it is. I mean, it's legal, so use it.
I mean, if you look at the efficiency, though, they were 7 for 14 third down, 2 for 2 fourth down. I mean, they were just incredibly efficient, especially in the
Very
second
good.
half. They
Yeah, it's
really
very
played
good.
well.
There were a
And
lot
you
of
know,
positive signs here. Allen, I thought him running the ball was crucial.
is he one of
Um,
the toughest quarterbacks in the league? Do you think? I mean, he takes
yeah,
this kind of beating,
yeah.
and yet he comes out with 3 touchdowns. It's crazy.
And yet, at the end of the day, couple biggest plays in the whole game were the Bills' defense, and I got to tip my hat. That was one of the most impressive things of the whole weekend that I had no idea was going to happen. Was that the Bills were going to take the ball away from Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what happened there. There were a couple
They
that
played
I was
well.
just.
The
There was a
defense was much maligned, and they
couple
played
throws
well.
Lawrence made over the middle that was just head scratching. I don't know what he was looking at really. Um,
Yeah,
what is your takeaway coming out of this game? Obviously, Josh Allen's looking at a ASC field without Burrow and Mahomes,
tremendous.
and now you don't
Mhm.
have Herbert. And
That's really good
what's your
news for.
takeaway for him, and what's your takeaway for the Jaguars who thought they were on a roll and get this kind of instant result in the first round?
Well, I think the Jags have only been good for 5 minutes now. So they're new there. They're new to the party, and they need to sort of lose this one and use it for motivation to work a little harder. And the they're on the right track with putting together that roster, but it's not a finished product. I
Hmm.
think offensively they still need some pieces, and
Hmm.
defensively, you know, I mean, let's face it, they don't have Hunter.
Hmm.
They don't have several players that will make them much better. So I think, defensively they can improve a little, offensive line they can improve a little. And I just think I think that this they haven't even approached their ceiling yet, the
I'll
Jaguars.
tell you, both defenses shut both offensive production down in terms of running the ball. I thought that was really impressive. Both defenses
Yeah.
had a good rush defense in this game. I agree with you. I think Jacksonville's close. I really do. I think they've got a very good team, and obviously, I love Cohen as a coach. I think Lawrence is playing better, but I think I was worried about him in this kind of big spot, and we saw it again. And I'm wondering if he's starting to turn into kind of, you know, Lamar Jackson, where he's got great regular seasons and then he can't get it done in the playoffs. I really start to wonder about that. We'll see.
Well, it doesn't help when they have one of the top two running backs in the NFL. And I talked last time about the EPA, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
earned points. I talked last time about EPA, it's expected points added, and
Right.
it's a stat that takes into account a lot of things related to momentum and
Right.
um, situational football, basically, where the ball
Mm-hmm.
is when you turn the ball over, where the ball is when you run the ball in from the one versus
Mm-hmm.
a 50-yard gainer. Um, and what I would say is that while the Bills won that game and it was impressive, they've got some problems. I mean, running the ball, they had a negative 3.12 rushing EPA,
Mm-hmm.
which is terrible.
It is
Uh,
terrible.
and they only had a 33.3% success rate on running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
33.3. So 1/3 of the time something good happened when they were in the ball. That's not
Mm-hmm.
very good. You
It's
want
true.
2/3 or
By the
three
way,
quarters or
did you
7/8.
see Shaq Thompson have a huge game for the Bills? Used to be a
Yeah, he had
Carolina
a pick.
Panther.
He
Had a
had a
pick
pick.
and had a bunch of tackles. He was really
Uh-huh.
effective.
Yeah, he
And
looked
then,
good.
the Bills again, among several teams in these playoffs that were a road favorite, which I find really interesting. And what that tells me is every single time you have one of these premier quarterbacks, Vegas is going to side with the premier quarterback. It doesn't matter who the team is. And
Well, I'm going to tell you
I
this.
find it really interesting, Robbie. DraftKings will always handicap the better team on the road or the better quarterback on the road, like a Matt Stafford, like a Josh
Yeah,
Allen.
yeah. I will tell you this. There were six lead changes, which was kind of par for the course for the day. And it wasn't surprising that it came down to the final drive.
Mm-hmm.
And, it wasn't even a terrible throw. I mean, Lawrence, the defender, dove in and tipped it up in the air, and then the other guy picked it off. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't it wasn't like an egregious throw.
That's called making a play. I mean, the
It was an
defender made a
amazing
play.
play by the
Yeah,
defense, which
right.
again, I've given the flowers to the Bills defense already.
Yeah,
That was not a terrible pick by Trevor Lawrence. But let's face it, if that was a completion, and they had gone down and gotten a field goal at a minimum,
right.
touchdown, and then we might be talking about a different result.
100%.
So I think it was that close. It
Yeah.
was that close to maybe going
Well,
the way of the Jaguars.
well, we will see if the Bills can continue. I know Josh really feels like this might be his year, and we'll see how Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, who are a very young team, how they respond next year. I think they're a very good team. They're going to be back. That's
Very
my
good team. I felt like Josh Allen had a motivation that I hadn't seen him have in a long time.
That's true. I think he's looking at a field
He
he
was
thinks he can.
running with ferocity.
I feel like he feels like he can make his way through this playoff bracket. So the
Man,
next
and he's
game was also a shocker for some people, and not for me. I picked the 49ers. I felt like, again, that the Eagles' offense was broken. I didn't know that they would lose Kittle to an Achilles tear in the first quarter, or I might have changed my pick. But
yeah,
23-19, you look at the results. Again, Hurts has a very subpar day, 20 for 35 for 168 and a touchdown. Purdy overcame two interceptions to have a decent game. Of course, he leaned very heavily on McCaffrey, both running and receiving. Probably the prettiest pass in the entire day was by a wide receiver to Christian McCaffrey for a touchdown. Just
Jennings.
kind of sad that that was the nicest pass, and he wasn't a quarterback. But
Well,
Robinson
it was
had
a
a huge day.
beautiful catch. It was a
Yeah,
beautiful catch by McCaffrey.
it was. It was. Robinson had a huge day for the 49ers, his best day ever in his career.
Yeah,
Um, and then in terms of on the Eagles side, Zach Bond, of course, is a fantastic player. Had a really nice day,
love
and
him.
so did Cooper DeJean. He had a couple really nice breakups. But
Zach Bond's one of my favorite linebackers in football.
the fact that the 49ers won this game on the road with an injured team with fourth and fifth string wide receivers, overcame two turnovers, uh, and still were able to get this done, had an 11-minute deficit in time of possession. So, what is your take on this game?
Mm. Very simply, the Eagles with the most expensive offense in NFL history that I already talked about was unable to move the ball. They Did you know that this year they had six different games where they had no touchdowns in the second half after halftime?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So no halftime adjustments, no touchdowns. That's that's losing some games. That's letting some games slip away. That's not good for an
Right.
offense like that. The Eagles' EPA was the lowest it's been in more than 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they were having problems scoring points. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
And we saw it all year. This was not a
All year,
surprise.
all
Yeah.
year. So, um,
Although
not
if you look at the line, I mean the final DraftKings line was -3 Philadelphia and an over under of 44 points, which I thought was too low, but in the end it wasn't. But I looked at that and I thought to myself, well, they think the Philadelphia Eagles roster is significantly better with the banged up 49ers, which is true. It
yeah.
is. They have significantly better defense. But again, that offense, I just knew it was broken. And I knew it was a quarterback and coaching mismatch.
Hmm.
So that's why I went with the 49ers.
I agree. I mean, I like everything about Shanahan except for special teams. And I
Yep.
agree. And I feel the same way about McVay. They're known for having bad special teams, and it's interesting that one of the most important plays that won it for the Rams was the special teams play.
Well, but
Um,
also one of the touchdowns the Panthers got was they blocked one of the Rams punts.
that's true.
So
Block punt,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
right.
So yeah, I mean these young coaches that are really offensive minded have blind spots with special teams, and I think it hurts them in the long run and maybe contribute to them not getting Super Bowls. But
So Robbie, you look at this stat here. Brock Purdy in his fifth season now has more playoff wins than Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, Philip Rivers, and Randall Cunningham,
yeah,
and and more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, Joe Namath, and Matt Ryan. This is in his fifth
I-
season.
I've been defending
Incredible.
Purdy since he was a rookie,
Yeah.
and I think very highly of him as a leader and as a decision maker. He's athletic. He's not very tall. He said there's about 20% of the field that he can't see.
Hmm.
He's kind of like Breeze. He does a lot of things to deal with the lack of sight at times, the vision
And you know,
obstruction. But
did you
man, he's
did
so
you hear
good.
what they said about Jalen Hurts? They said the same thing about him that there's significant portions of the field that Jalen Hurts cannot see, and it used to be
Right.
he would roll out. He doesn't anymore, and
Hmm.
it makes him really limited.
Yeah. Yep.
So both of these quarterbacks have that limitation. You just have to understand it. The difference is Purdy will actually tuck the ball in and run, whereas Hurts used to, but he won't anymore. And it's become a real limitation for him. I
Well,
don't know what
right.
they're gonna, I don't know what they're going to do about it, but I mean, he's getting
But
you 150 yards.
Purdy's probably the best decision maker in the NFL.
He might be. He might be.
I
Although he
think
does throw a lot of crazy picks like Josh Allen used to, that I wish he could get rid
not a
of.
lot of them. Not a lot. He's very efficient. He usually is number one, two, or three in the NFL in QBR, which means his decision making. And he doesn't get enough credit. And
I wish he could get rid of
he's not
some
thought
of
of as
the.
elite, but his numbers are absolutely elite.
I wish he could get rid of some of the interceptions. I really do. I think that he would be just
Yeah,
really, really, really elite.
I think so too. But I think that's where a young quarterback can improve.
Congrats to the 49ers going into Philadelphia, knocking off the Super Bowl champs without George Kittle,
Yep,
without half your defense, and just proving that the quarterback coach combination does matter. So,
sure does.
Chargers, Patriots, 16-3. The Patriots, like you said before we got into this game, the Patriots defense just whipped the Chargers offensive line, which we knew was a problem with their two tackles out. And I know Harbaugh during this game looked really exasperated, like there's just nothing he could do to try to protect Herbert, who was already banged up, already has a broken left hand. What's your take on this game?
Herbert took an unbelievable amount of punishment, but I gotta say it. May took it too. Uh, n- the Chargers gave up 6 sacks, but the
Mm-hmm.
Patriots gave up 5.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very defensive struggle, very defense dominated game.
Mm-hmm.
And May didn't play that great, but he's just lucky that his team was beating up Herbert worse than he was getting beaten up.
He had a
Uh,
bad pick. And the other thing I notice here is the efficiency numbers are really bad. I mean, you look at red zone 0 for 2 and 0 for 3. A
yeah,
lot of
that's right.
field goals. A lot of field
0
goals.
for 2 in the red zone. New England 0 for 3. Um, May was 6 for 15 in the first half. That's not very good.
Hmm.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
misses.
right.
And
So
yeah.
this was one of only two home teams that were favored coming into the game. They were favored -3.5 on the DraftKings line.
Mhm.
And it felt like the Chargers really shouldn't be there. They didn't have enough of a team to compete.
Yeah,
This
their offensive line was missing, and
I
yeah,
felt bad for Herbert. I really did.
I did too. He took a beating.
Yeah.
That wasn't right, but first playoff win for the Pats in 7 years. Good for them.
Hmm. Yep.
Congrats to them. And Milton Williams sacked Herbert. Did you see this? And he went and he headbutted um, Mike Vrabel
Did he really?
and gave Vrabel a bloody lip. That's hilarious.
I did see that. Yeah, I saw the bloody lip.
He
Mhm.
said, "Yeah, you came over and got me good." Like Vrabel didn't even mind.
No, you thought it was great. It's a
He
badge of
loves it.
honor. Yeah.
He's so crazy.
Do you think
Yeah.
Patriots are a real force and a real contender here? Because obviously their offense isn't going to play this badly again. I don't think
I don't know
they're a good
about
team.
that. I don't think their offense can stand up against a really good defense. So you know, they're gonna play the Broncos or they're gonna play who knows, probably a good defense. So
Or the
yeah,
Bills.
I think they
Yeah.
might struggle again. The
Hmm.
Bills defense isn't very good, but did play well this weekend, or
Hmm.
well enough, I should say.
Hmm. Yeah. Congrats to the Pats. I think the Chargers had to go back to the
Stuff.
drawing board, and they got to just focus on offensive line. Like Harbaugh always says, they're like
Yeah,
weapons.
I
Mm.
guess, I agree, but what do you do when you just keep getting all these injuries?
Yeah, that's got to be their focus going in the offseason.
I think
So
their
the
focus has to be staying healthy, you know?
so the game last night, Houston Texans, Pittsburgh Steelers. It was 7-6 Houston at half. Really low scoring. The points we knew were going to be hard to come by. Both defenses play really, really well, and obviously the Texans defense, one of the top three in the league. And they just absolutely decimated Rodgers and that offensive line. It was like the Chargers with Herbert. It was just sad to
Yeah,
watch. I mean,
it was.
Rodgers couldn't get anything going. They tried to get a running game going, couldn't get that going either. Texans did. You look at the mismatch in terms of yardage, 408 to 175.
Yeah, that
And
was a beating.
third down conversions, Texans 10 for 15. And that's pretty efficient.
Yeah,
The only reason this was close at all in the first half was the Texans kept turning the ball over. They kept either
yeah,
throwing
turnover.
picks or fumbling it. So
Hmm.
it would have been, I don't know, 50-3 or something. What is your take on this game?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it. There are 15 Steelers in their 30s, and their coach has
Mhm.
been there for 19 years. So I think what you're looking at is a stale organization that is old and slow and is doesn't have the fire. It's
Mhm.
generally speaking. I think
Mhm.
that's why they got DK Metcalf, but I don't know. It just statistically it's pretty imbalanced overall.
Mhm.
Um, Pittsburgh got whipped on offense.
You really did.
So,
They
and
need
their
they need a
defense
lot
isn't
of
even,
repression.
it's just
Yeah.
okay. So they
Hmm.
don't, what do you hang your hat on if you don't have an elite defense and your offense is not good?
And your running game's just okay.
Your running game's not good enough. So
And your best
they're,
wide receiver is 33 years old. It's kind of,
yeah,
yeah, it's tough.
that's right.
So this is one of the four games where the road team was favored. Houston, Texas were -2.5 with an over/under of 38.5. So what an interesting, situation it was this year with all the road teams being favored. It really was kind of an
Yeah.
interesting. And you wonder if they need to figure out a way to reseed these brackets, because you're getting a lot of division winners that are not as good as the visitors coming in.
Yeah, I think they probably will get rid of that. Just stack them based on how they finished.
I think you have to.
Yeah. Division
Uh,
winners, when they're 8 and 9, that doesn't make sense.
So the day after this game happened, of course, this morning, Mike Tomlin announces his resignation. Um, I think you think that the theory is that he was pushed out and that he was given an ultimatum.
No
We
question.
don't want to fire you after 19 seasons, so just step down.
You've earned the right to leave on your own,
Hmm.
but you are leaving, so you decide.
Hmm.
Yeah. Don't
Interesting,
make us fire you. We want to put you in the ring of honor with no bad blood.
because his
Still something
statement to
special.
the
It's just
Steelers
time to
fans
change.
today, his statement to the Steelers fans today, just made it feel like he was just stepping away for a while. But you're saying it was coerced.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They love him. They want to put him in the ring of honor. They feel indebted to him, but they feel like they need to make a change.
Do you feel like the Steelers are going into a rebuild,
No question.
or is it a retool?
15 players in their 30s. They need to completely gut everything.
Yeah.
So does that
And
mean
then
every player gets turned over? No, but I mean, probably more changes than similarities.
And then Texans are the one team that have a premier defense that have a bottom 15 offense. So can they get their offense good enough to be a contender? That's the question.
Uh, it's weird because Chubb's there, but I don't love their running game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think other than Nico Collins, I just don't think it's a good enough roster throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they have some problems. They have a few problems, but I love their defense. So
You put them up against the Broncos, and they're going to score about 13 points. You know what I mean? So that's
yeah, but so
we'll
are the
see,
Broncos.
we'll see
So
what happens. Yeah, exactly.
Broncos are going to score 13 too.
Our NFL memes this week: career playoff TD passes. Justin Herbert 2, Juwan Jennings 2.
Fair.
What is your theory, Robbie, about Justin Herbert? He's sitting at 0-3 in the playoffs now. He goes in a lot of times. This year he was the 7th seed, but a lot of times he was the 3 or 4 seed, and he goes into these situations and he gets blown out by multiple touchdowns. And what do you
I
think
don't
it
put
is?
it
Is
on
it a
him.
sneak bit
I
or
don't put it on him. He didn't play great, but they didn't lose because of Justin Herbert. They lost because their offensive line got whipsawed.
yeah, yeah, that's true. But he's not having a lot of success even
In
before this year.
fact, I don't have any stats for this, but I wouldn't be surprised if you read that it's one of the most record hurries in a playoff game of all time.
No, he was just absolutely whipped. Do you think he was more battered or was it Aaron Rodgers? Because they were both like, they'll probably have PTSD after these games.
It looked like Aaron Rodgers got hit harder, but it looked like Herbert got hit more often.
Man, that was a horrible day for him.
Yeah,
He was
it was
not
bad.
enjoying it.
Oh,
Every NFL team in Florida has the exact same record since 2022. How weird is that, Robbie?
that's wild.
Jacksonville, Tampa, and Miami all 35 and 33.
Crazy.
They're all just kind of average.
Yeah, or have been.
Mike McDaniel was spotted head to toe in Gucci riding a merry-go-round at Disney World after getting fired by the Dolphins. Pretty
You
funny.
gotta love the personality. He's just a
Yeah,
little crazy.
it's wild. What are you doing? Riding a merry-go-round.
Did
The
you see when he
Patriots.
was driving around South Beach and there's a well-known
Yeah.
I think I think it's a Bengals bar
Hmm.
and he went driving by it and honking after they just beat the Bengals.
Hmm.
He was trolling the fans.
So the
So
Patriots went to 5 Super Bowls, won 3 of them, lost Tom Brady, drafted a bust, then rebuilt the team, drafted another franchise QB in Drake May, won a playoff game, all since the Jets had the last playoff appearance. So
yeah. Well,
incredible to have all this success multiple times, multiple rebuilds, and then you have the Jets. They just want to go to the playoffs once. Crazy.
they want anything that they can even cheer for.
How can you have a franchise that inept? It's just incredible.
It is terrible.
It's just mind-boggling.
There's
Justin
no, they're
Herbert,
not getting better. They're not rebuilding. It's like,
these 3 guys started for Justin Herbert in the playoff game, and you see their PFF ranks are all basically they were the worst offensive linemen in the league. They're all started on the practice squad.
yeah,
And the saying is Justin Herbert should have been allowed 7 Mississippi playing behind this offensive line.
yeah.
7 Mississippi.
It was bad.
Man, they've got to get this fixed. I mean, that should be their top priority is protecting your franchise quarterback.
I mean, I
Period.
think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is wild. In 3 Bears-Packers games this season, 2 regular season, one in the playoffs, the Bears didn't lead on one offensive play in all 3 games until the last play of the
Wow.
game. So they won 2 on the last play of the game, then they lost 1 game. So
Yeah, nobody can convince me there's not some luck there.
it's luck, but also Robbie, it's kind of like the Commander
No, it's
season
not all
last
luck,
year,
but there's some.
but also like the Commander season last year was it was great, but it was also pretty lucky. I mean, let's be honest. They
Oh
won so
yeah,
many
same
games on the
thing.
last play of the game. Can he continue this through the playoffs? You can't be getting these deficits against everybody,
I'll be shocked.
like the Rams or something. You get
I'll be
down
shocked.
21-3. I'm impressed. I mean, hats off to him, but I don't know how you can play this kind of football every single week. Amazing. And then Tomlin, of course, ends his 19-year run as Steelers head coach. Was this stunning to you?
Not really. You started hearing about it a few weeks ago. You hear about a handful of coaches every year, that underachieve. And I don't know. I think the Steelers felt like it's time for a change, time for a new voice.
They've lost their last 8 playoff games, and 7 of them were first-round exits. And I just
Yeah.
think the Pittsburgh Steelers faithful, they love Mike Tomlin. They've had a great run. They had a Super Bowl. But it's not enough, right? To be 9 and
No,
8 every year.
no.
They want more. So I think you tip your hat and you have to go through some type of rebuild or retooling process.
Yeah. They were just good enough to be mediocre, you know. They
That's right.
they they were always drafting outside the top 15. They're always drafting, low, and they always won enough games to get a really hard schedule the next year.
What are
And
your thoughts about the 9 openings right now? I mean, we've never seen that before.
yeah,
There've never been 9
a
openings in the
quarter of the
same team.
NFL is looking for a head coach.
Yeah, crazy. I want to see who
Yeah.
your Dolphins get.
And there's not a whole lot of head coaching candidates
Exactly.
compared to normal.
All right, Robbie. So here's the bracket, man. This is what's left. Who do you got in Bills and Broncos?
Broncos.
I like the Bills. Who do you like in Texans Patriots? It's a tough one, right?
That's a tough one. Probably Patriots.
I like the Patriots too. I think Vrabel has a nice thing going there. So I like
Well,
Bills.
they're
Bills.
yeah, they're at home.
I like Bills and Patriots in the AFC Championship game. Who do you like in the 49ers Seahawks in Seattle?
Seahawks.
Me too.
Probably Seahawks.
Me too. I think 49ers luck runs out now. LA and the Bears.
LA.
This is in 3 degrees and snow, so makes a
I
little bit
know.
of a difference. I like
I'll tell
LA
you
as
that
well.
Stafford is one of the toughest quarterbacks in the NFL.
He is. I like
So
Seattle, LA in the NFC Championship game. But yeah, I agree with that. This is pretty interesting, Robbie. NFC West is the 4th division since 1970 to have 3 teams reach the divisional round. Not only just make the playoffs, but get to the divisional round. So, do you think that is the best division in football?
you can make the case, I think. Yes.
NFC West. Yeah,
You can make the case.
I think it is. I think it is. So, most playoff TDs: Tom Brady with 88, Mahomes with 46, Rodgers 45, Joe Montana 44, and Brett Favre 44. What's interesting is Patrick Mahomes has one more than Aaron Rodgers, but he's played 10 fewer seasons. Pretty incredible, the
I
numbers that
know.
he's racking up already. So here's our subscriber challenge of the week, guys. We want you to drop us a comment. Will we get a first-time winner or will we get a repeat winner in the Super Bowl? So all of the teams up top have won it before, and then the 2 down below would be first-time winners. So what do you think, Robbie?
I think we're gonna have somebody who won it before.
Me too. As everyone knows, I picked Seattle last week, and I'm sticking with them to win the whole thing. But would I be surprised if the Bills find a way to squeak in there? Maybe. Certainly possible. Drop us a comment, guys. Who do you think is going to win it? And do you think there'll be a repeat winner or a first-time winner? Let us know. So, Robbie, this is a funny meme I put here. Needed Broncos Bears Super Bowl where it's 3-0 at halftime and the final score is 48-47. Because both teams are second half teams.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hand it over to you, man.
All right. Let's do it. Hmm. Grateful to be on as always. Real excited to see if Miami can keep it close with the home environment. That's open throne.
All right. Thanks, Cole.
That's
We
cool.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Cole, for commenting. And it's been an amazing tournament so far. Excited for the final between the two best teams from DPT Coach.
Great. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate the comment.
Let's go back to NFL playoffs. Um, so amazing. Love this episode. Saki Ahmed.
Thanks, Laki.
Cool.
We appreciate it, man. Trying to bring you the best content.
Yep. Your playoff insight is elite. And there's a crown. That's pretty cool.
Man,
The matchups, X factors, and potential upsets were explained perfectly. Subscribed instantly after episode. That's from Tim Davis.
man.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Tim.
Tim.
Good stuff.
What a cool comment.
Very cool comment. Okay, episode 102, and you're still leveling up. The way you broke down each matchup makes this a must watch for every NFL fan heading into the playoffs. Respect. Adam Smith.
Man, Adam, I don't know what to say. What a great comment.
That's pretty cool.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it's good. We appreciate that comment. We appreciate the
Leveling
feeling.
up, Robbie. Haven't heard that one before.
Leveling up, yeah. This is the kind of content real NFL fans appreciate. Deep knowledge, clean presentation, and great pacing. Episode 102 was a banger. Motherhood 9.
Dang, a banger. Thanks, Motherhood.
Banger.
We
Thank you
appreciate it.
so much. And that is the mailbag.
All right, Robbie. Well, going into this weekend's matchups, man, we got a couple games on Saturday, a couple on Sunday. Just nothing but football all weekend. And then Monday night, we got the college championship. So doesn't
Mhm.
get much better than that.
And my twins' birthday is this weekend, so I'm going to be celebrating with them in between football games.
I'm looking
And
forward to it.
yeah, same. And they have a basketball game too, so we're going to have an active weekend for sure. And very grateful for those little guys.
I feel like the divisional round games, a lot of times, are some of the best games. I really think we're going to have some really good ones
It
this
can
weekend.
be. Yeah, it
Very
can be.
competitive because they're trying to get
Yeah.
to that championship game in their conference, and it gets really, really competitive.
Yeah, there's all the teams are just laying it out there. They know that, it's lose and go home. So
Hmm.
um, there's something different about the Super Bowl. There's so much commercials and you get a big couple week prep time and
Hmm.
it's just a little different. But
So, did you see the comment that was coming out? I think it was a couple different pundits said it, but Steve Young was the main one, and he was saying that he felt like, and he agreed with Troy Aikman, that he felt like the way that the NFL has done scheduling this year has not been fair. That there were some teams that played this past Saturday that are playing this coming Sunday, so they get an extra day of rest, and there was
yeah,
other teams that played on Sunday that have to play on Saturday, and they get 2 extra days of no rest. And
yeah.
they felt like it really wasn't fair. So, what's your thought about that? I mean, it does feel a little inequitable for some of the teams who get 2 days less rest.
Yeah, I
How do
don't know
you how do
much
you
about
solve
it.
that?
I'm sure that that's probably valid, but I don't know that there's you're gonna make somebody upset when you do this scheduling probably because everything is done to be a product for television. So
Hmm.
you have to make it in such a way that teams line up playing each other, and sometimes it's not perfect,
But you
because
notice that the guys who make those kind of comments are ex-players. They're usually guys who played very late into their 30s, and
yeah,
they were thinking about how nice it would have been to have another day or two of rest to get ready for a big playoff game. They also mentioned something that I had forgotten about, but apparently they got rid of the Monday playoff games last year
yeah,
and made everything Saturday, Sunday during the playoff season. And this year, of course, we had one last night with the Texans Steelers, and they said that again, it's unfair for the Texans because they got to play again on Sunday. So
right. It
I don't
is.
know how
It is
you
unfair.
fix all this because the consuming public they want it every day. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah, but the beautiful part about the NFL has always been leave them wanting more. Leave them wanting more. And so they chomp at the bit waiting for you all summer. Uh, and they've almost given us too much football, where it's borderline, whether it's oversatiated. I mean, think about it. We've had for the first time we had a good Thursday night game recently,
Hmm.
but most of the Thursday night games are trash, and the teams hate them. The prep time for them is like 3 days long. It's not long
Hmm.
enough. You have so many people on the injured list. Um, they probably should get rid of Thursday night football, but
Hmm.
I love it. It starts your weekend. It's
Hmm.
fantastic. So nobody really wants to get rid of it except the players. But
Well,
if you
Aikman had a
if you analyze
solution.
it properly, they should get rid of Thursday night
Aikman
football.
had a solution for the playoffs, and I think he's right. He said, get rid of the Monday games again. That's
Yep.
not really fair. And then he said, have the AFC play all Saturday games all the way throughout. Have the NFC play all Sunday games all the way throughout. Then everyone has the same amount of rest. And then Super Bowl week, you've got 2 weeks anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so
And I
one
was
more
like, that's a pretty good proposal. Then you won't have
and maybe
unfairness.
and maybe the AFC's Saturday one year and then the NFC's
Yeah,
Saturday one year. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good idea.
I think it is too. It is
Yeah.
too. And I love the Monday game, but I would prefer
Good
to have the
idea,
guys.
Troy Aikman.
Yeah, I'd prefer to have the guys safe and prepared and have the best games. So if I have to
Me
give up a
too.
Monday night game during the playoffs, it's okay.
I think they need enough rest. They need a grass field that is in good shape.
Hmm.
They need uh, an atmosphere of good weather. I think during the nice
Hmm.
during the playoffs to get that best level of football, you got to have receivers that can go long,
Hmm.
quarterbacks that can air it out in 70 yards in the air. You can't do that when it's snowing like crazy. So
100%.
yeah,
Well, guys, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with us. We've had an incredible football season with you guys. It's almost over, but we're getting down now to the brass tacks. We're getting to the really great games. We're excited to bring all of them to you.
yeah. Thanks for joining us. Check out our merch store. The link will be in the bottom of the in the um, comments. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. And we've been kind of loading up on our merch ourselves. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for the comments. We really appreciate hearing from you. It makes it more fun for us to be reading the comments that you guys put in there. And there's so much good football. Make a comment on that. Tell us what you think about these matchups and who's going to win. But thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on our episode with us and in our journey, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. And guys, we will see you next time on the Sports Guys. Have a great football weekend. See you
All
later.
right. See ya.